integrated like that. And he goes, because I grew up on a ranch and I seen what cows do when they're alive. And
David's be gone. He's gonna cook them out. That's funny. Oh my gosh.
TJ likes his bloody, Daddy likes his charred.
Can I tell you a story about your mother
Yes.
Yes.
and our little escapade out at the
Ooh,
ranch?
did you just see the look on Mom's face?
She remembers this
We wanted to go-
already.
We wanted to go see Grandma.
I wanted to shoot him in the face.
So
with
we
a
went to see
bazooka.
Grandma. And is that where when we stopped and got you the purple pantsuit because you wanted to look like a cowboy or something?
I don't think so.
So you picked purple?
I want to look
Hey,
like
what's
a
wrong with
real
purple?
live cowgirl. How about that purple jumpsuit right there?
So we got out to the ranch. And we're having a blast, you know. And we're out there butchering a pig. Well, the thing about butchering a pig is knives do not stay sharp because of the toughness of the skin. So we're out there butchering this pig. So I keep coming in, and pigs, you ever heard the expressions like a stuck pig?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I was walking in back and forth covered in blood.
Whoa.
And she got upset. So, so she got all upset about it. So I cut the heart out. And Aunt Kathy took her out to the chicken coop to, I don't know, feed the chickens or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna feed.
So I came walking up. I'll have to use this arm because there's a gun over here. I came walking up and I said, "Oh, sweetheart, have a heart." Oh, she was.
Were you guys dating or married at this time?
We were married or were we just living together?
You already married?
They probably wouldn't have gotten married.
I know. I was like, Mom, then you married him.
You were only 16 on the ranch. You didn't get married till you're 18,
Honey.
right?
Oh no, this no, but this is going back.
Oh, a different time at the
Yeah.
ranch?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Different time.
that night, we're all sitting around talking, BSing, and telling our lies, and it got really dark. So was it Kathy who was pranked you on that? There's a real difference
I think
between
it was Kathy.
there's a real difference between country dark and city dark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
This is
sure.
This is a city. This is a city
Yes.
girl. She'd never been in country dark. So Kathy pranked your mom. She said, "Sweetheart, by the time this is over, your mother was either going to marry me or murder me."
So this was the same day as the heart?
Yeah.
Oh
later
my
that
gosh,
evening,
you guys are awful.
she said, "Linda, honey, could you do me a favor? Could you take this pan out to Simone? Simone was another pig, but she'd stand up on that fence. It was
Oh,
huge.
man.
And your mother loved Simone.
Aw, you don't name your food, Ma.
You do.
Yeah,
She said you
does.
do.
And the thing of it is, even when we named them, we knew they were going to be killed. So we didn't-
Yes.
So anyway, she gave her this bucket and said, "Would you take this out to Simone?" So your mom walks out and she was walking towards Simone, and Kathy turned all the lights out.
Oh no.
Daddy's dying. That's so
There
terrible.
was a Guernsey cow out there that wanted what was in that. And your mom was not going to let her have it. So we're all in there listening to her go, "Ah, ah,
I was not amused.
Daddy was.
ah." And everybody else was.
Oh my
So your
God.
mother was well vetted.
I was mad at
She knew what she was getting into when she married you. That is
Well, my
hilarious.
mother warned her way before.
Yes.
In fact, my mother told her one time, "Honey, if you two ever get upset, get into a fight and you don't want to leave him, you come home."
You come home. Yeah. Yep.
You did, I'm telling you. Oh,
Daddy, you doing okay? You need to go lay down?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay.
I got to drink water because
Yeah.
You do that while I pause.
I get so parched.
Yeah.
I'm like 99% parched.
99.9% parched.
Did you say Diet Cola?
No, it's a cola.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to decide if I should just go online or I'm picking and choosing. Okay. Daddy?
I thought she needed to.
Oh no, you're good. I restarted. Yep. Okay. What is the one thing you want to be remembered for?
it's too late for them all.
Aw, Daddy.
I don't know. I just want to be remembered for how much I love you all. And hopefully someday you'll all forgive me and think I'm a good man.
Daddy,
You are
stop
man.
it.
Why'd you say something like that? My goodness.
Because I look back on my life and I remember sitting around in fact, I still got home videos of this, sitting around at you guys' party in my pajamas being a total grump the entire time.
Papa, you've been a grump the whole time we known you.
I know, that's
You're
what
a
I'm
bad
saying.
person. You're our daddy.
Yes.
You're just a grumpy little thing, Daddy.
You're grumpy. You got some grumpy.
Not that some of us
No
haven't given you
time.
lots of causes.
Yeah.
I gotta admit though, I wasn't that grumpy during our dance parties.
No, you were
I
not.
had a blast with
Nope.
them.
I
It
was
was
serious.
the pneumonia.
I was-
Before Dad got pneumonia,
It wasn't
that one
like
time it wasn't. You played with us, you did whatever, and then
I
you
think,
got pneumonia, and that's when things kind of changed a little
I would
bit.
like
and then,
to see
but then
videos
some of
before
us
Dad
were
had kids.
bratty teenagers by
I was
then
gonna
too.
say,
I don't think we would be allowed
Yeah.
to see videos
It
before.
was you.
It was us.
married.
Oh yeah, it was us. We know this.
in fact, it was then to the point that the rest of the kids came to us and promised us they would never do that. They would never be like that.
I'm sorry I was such a little jerk.
You paying for it now, bro. You got Anya just like you,
Are you
dude.
listening to this? Are you listening to these stories I'm telling you?
Yeah, I'm
I was a
It's
little
in
bit
your
of a jerk my own
blood.
self.
It's in your blood. So technically, Dad should be saying sorry to you.
Well, TJ, SJ has your personality, so when he starts acting out, I'm sending him to you.
Oh, God bless you.
Aspen's the same way.
I have a
Aspen reminds
tomahawk.
me so much of you, TJ.
Huh?
She is Aspen.
Really?
She is so much like nobody's telling her nothing. When her mind's made up, her mind is made up.
That's
And I love
That's
it about
not
her.
true.
I love it about her, and I hate it about her.
That's not true. Her mind changes just so quickly. It's that when we used to go driving all the time, she used to tell me of her dreams,
Right.
and she talked about how she wanted to get a vehicle and just hit the road and go, discover America, for instance. So, but then all of a sudden, boom, she met that little girlfriend of hers.
I was just saying, yeah, but Daddy, but that was like an hour ago. Things changed.
Not that girlfriend.
Yeah.
Also, this is recorded. If we show this to the kids, let's make sure that part's not in there.
She
We
knows.
are married now. We have to play nice.
No.
No. She's talking about Joseph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
No,
just like to say,
not Connor.
I would just like to say on video that there is one thing that I did love about Joseph, and that's he called her on her crap. If she was being dishonest, he was like, "Yeah, that never happened." I loved it.
No wonder she's joking.
Yeah, he did not let her get away with it, and I would just sit there and giggle on my inside. Okay, Daddy, here's a serious one. Are you ready?
No,
Well, I'm asking.
we're having
it
too much
anyway.
fun.
I know, but we need to, we have to even it out a little.
Okay.
Okay, Daddy, what so far has been the scariest moment in your life?
Whenever they walked in and told me I had pancreatic cancer.
I was thinking that one, or when we lost the girls.
Oh, that was.
Great memories there, Mom.
No,
I just
I want to
played.
know.
He obviously was
that
trying
was
to block
the
that
most-
out.
Well,
Just teasing.
I had never,
I was not
I had
born yet.
never
I didn't
felt
think so.
anguish of soul before or after that particular moment in our life.
Yep.
I think
The
about
way
it
they
as
treated my girls.
as a parent now, I think about how helpless I would have felt. I would have been in an abyss
Yeah.
We were.
so far down.
That was the
And then they
first.
called each of our kids in an interview.
I remember.
They had to
Is
bring
that
Mom
legal?
into mine because I refused to cooperate.
Is that legal to question us without you guys present?
Yeah.
When you're dealing with
They do
social
what they want to do.
They
services,
can do whatever they want to do.
Wow.
But they had to bring Mom into mine because I was being a
You good, babe?
witch with a capital B because I was mad.
Jim,
Yeah.
Jim, honey, underneath there.
Honey.
And they were mad at me because they didn't want Mom in there because they were afraid, your parents are going to tell you what to say. I'm like, nope.
That was 6 months,
Do you want
wasn't
us to wait for the next question? We'll wait.
Was it 6
we were involved
months?
with them for 6 months because they
Oh,
had
I'm timing you now.
this 60s
Give
burnout
us a time frame.
social worker that Honestly, it was just pathetic.
I swear he
but
was on drugs when he was in the
I'm
door.
telling you.
Which is a
So-
good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It was. It worked in our behalf, but it was
Painful.
oh my gosh.
I
it
went to
was-
church, it was fasting testimony, so I told the story. I had people lining up to get their rifles and go with your kids.
I'm telling you, that's what Neil
Because
said too.
they were fed up with it.
Yeah.
These guys were running rampant.
Yep.
I think I probably would have got killed.
We
Yeah.
got separated, didn't
You know
we?
what I mean?
Didn't they
Because-
separate us?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
separated us.
And it's like they come, you have no rights.
And told them that they were never gonna see us again.
And they pulled you out and wouldn't let us.
And told, I can't remember if it was Kira or if it was Sandy, told one of them, if not both of them, that they would never see us again.
It's ridiculous.
And I mean the emotional damage
Don't
Sorry.
you dare! Don't you
they
dare!
did to these two girls under the guise of the law was inexcusable. Inexcusable.
You know, it's like they're accusing Dad of things that obviously all of us know never could happen, right? And then, like, because and then they're trying. How do I say it without making anybody like feel? So now they have to examine you, complete strangers,
Yeah.
and you're like, all right. So wait a minute, you're taking my kids away, but you're about to commit what you're saying.
That's exactly
You know,
what I told them.
Like
Well,
you're
and
about
then
to go
at the
big. You're about
time-
to go in there and sexually abuse my child because it doesn't have to be touchy feelies. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be any of that. It could
Yeah.
just
Well,
take
that-
off your
that
clothes.
was-
You know what I
Dr.
mean?
Victorov
And you
was just
having
mad.
no
Experience in that
or
at all.
representation
Yeah,
or anybody to be like, no, you don't have to do that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well, and
The
Dr.
thing of it
Victorov
is-
was just as mad because he had actual cases where he knew abuse was happening. He knew Dad hadn't messed with any of us. He was our doctor. Knew Dad hadn't messed with anybody and had people that he knew were being messed with and they would not do anything
For the people that
for the people that needed it.
How did it get from, like, some creepo calling the house to Dad as a sexual predator?
Because they said
He's the one that had
something.
the easiest access.
But they said
Oh,
something
it's
about
so
something
Really?
about us was
That
different
simple?
sizes or
Are you
something.
serious?
That was the
Yeah.
justification.
It was
Father
something
had
like
the
Abuse children.
easiest access.
So he's got
Yeah.
to be guilty.
So when we went to court the following Wednesday, we had to be prepared that if the judge told him he had to move out, he would have to move out
But-
of our home.
The whole
you're-
reason they called the cop was because some creepo was calling the house.
Yeah.
Saying that they were going to come
Well,
over.
what it
They
was,
were
they were
Dad.
home alone.
Because
the girls
they were
called the
home
cops.
alone.
They were home
Yeah.
alone.
And
They got
Sandy
freaked
got
out because somebody was
scared,
calling,
and
so
we
she
got
called
what's
911
called
like
kids.
she was taught to do.
If
Yeah.
you
You know?
get scared and we're not home, you call the police.
No, I get that. But
'Cause
how
it's
did it
before
go from
cell phones.
that
Because
police call
they had
happening
done-
to Dad's.
because they had done some kind of an exam on us, right? And said
did an
something was different
examination
sizes,
on the girl.
and so
Said
our
the
hymens.
vaginal rings were
Not intact.
no, they were saying their vaginal rings were the same size.
Were inflamed.
And Sandy was a 4, Kira was a 4, and Sandy's was bigger. Well, Kira was
older.
4.
Yeah, no, it was 5, and Sandy was 10.
No, you were 4.
Was I 4?
And
Okay.
she was 8. And they were supposed
If it
to
was
have
What
a
he's saying,
scary
what he's
phone
saying
call,
is, how did it get
Why
from?
were they doing a full exam on it?
Yeah.
It was a phone call.
Because
They
they-
literally come in, they
was
took the
social
kids out of the house. And I think they asked them if there was anything that their
they had a
parents
secret
didn't
with
want
their
them
dad.
to say.
Oh, yeah,
And they
they
said
said
yeah,
we
because
had
they had set up a safe word. And they were when they said, was there anything that your parents told you that they didn't want you to tell?
Was there any
anybody?"
secrets? Do
And
you
they
have any
said
Yeah,
yes.
because they had had safe words that they told them to make so that the kids wouldn't get kidnapped from school.
Yeah.
It wasn't
And
that.
they
It
used
was
that as
Kira sucking her
justification
thumb.
to
They
assume
just
that they were being
blew- no, it
abused
wasn't
and were
that.
told to keep
They
it
just
quiet.
my fault.
blew the
It is
whole
not.
thing out of proportion.
Yeah,
Then all of a sudden it was,
Kira,
well, so now they just have to have this little examination and then
Yeah, bring
everything will
them
be
home.
fine. It was a lie. So then they had their people do an examination. And I said, what the hell kind of an examination did you do on my girls? So then when we had the meeting with the social worker, I said, so what you're telling me is you robbed my girls of their innocence
Pulled them out of their home.
and you did it under the guise of the law.
Yeah.
And she said, well, we do what is best for the girls. And I said,
How was
How
that?
was that
Sexually
done?
assaulting my children
Yeah.
was best for them.
excuse me?
Making my children strip naked in front of strangers, that's helping my kids.
Yeah.
You know, grown strangers. And back then, who knows? I mean, these days,
didn't
if you're a female and you're getting arrested, they have to call a female officer to come arrest you. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
said,
I don't know
how-
how was it back then.
Do
I don't
I
know.
know that the officer that took them into custody isn't the one that abused them? Or supposedly abused them. Oh, they were fine with them. And I said, how do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who
Were
was in
you
the room
with
with
them?
them?
Were you with them in the ride downtown? Then how do you know? How many times do you read in the paper that an officer abused
Yeah.
the
Officer,
children
priest,
or women
coach,
or whatever?
some people that trust
Abused
us.
them. Did you see that? No. Then how do you know?
And the thing that
Where's
made
the
me
proof?
mad is that they used Kaiser Permanente's guidelines.
What does that mean?
Well,
Whatever guidelines they used
I
to
know.
see somebody sexually abused.
Oh.
and Kaiser
So
Permanente said there's no abuse here, and yet they still pushed it through.
Yeah,
Really?
and
I
that's-
would
Yeah.
assume.
As soon as we picked the girls up,
to make a career.
I would assume.
It-
as soon as we
Out of
picked the
everything,
girls
I
up,
would
we
say.
went
Then
straight
what
to
did
our
they do?
doctor's office.
Why do you say
Because
that?
what if I missed
Because
something?
Right.
Right.
What if
you
I
really
missed
can't sue.
something?
You can't
Right.
win.
We went
You
straight
go in
to
and
our
you sue them,
doctor's
and they're
office.
the deck is stacked for
Screamed the
them.
whole time. Because
And
we're
you have to
sitting
pay
there
for it.
pulling her legs apart.
I'm so glad I don't remember much of that.
And so, and the doctor,
You're going
Mine
they
does always
both
been like
came
that.
back
I
and
know.
said,
There's nothing wrong with
there's
that.
nothing wrong with these
Down
girls.
for subject.
Their
change.
hymenal rings are still in
real.
place. There's no
Sorry.
scar tissue. There's no tearing. There's nothing.
Why didn't you get a lawyer and try to sue or something?
We didn't
Because
have that kind of money.
well, that plus it would have done any good.
That's exactly what we were just talking about.
We had some-
Exactly what we were just talking
we had
about.
That
some-
proved the point right there.
We had some
We did.
very
The law
high
only applies to
people,
the poor people
that
who
this
don't have the money
happened
to
to.
defend themselves.
and they
Exactly
pulled
what
them
it
in.
was.
So they got so mad they went down to sue them. They didn't do a big deal. The larger stacks in their favor.
That's got to say something too. If Dr. Victorov was our family doctor and I was afraid to let him examine me, they must have done some type of damage to me. But luckily, I don't really remember a whole lot of it. But
How traumatizing is it for to be in front of a stranger and be
Yeah.
like,
I mean, it's
have a
literally
complete stranger
they-
tell you, okay, I need you to strip
the
naked.
guys
and
are
you're
trying to
like, you've been
protect
taught,
these
you've been
girls. They
taught,
literally
guys,
did the
guys.
worst thing that a
We changed
person could
subjects.
do to her.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
they did what they were trying to protect them from.
Right. Next question.
Sorry.
Sorry.
No.
Okay.
Lots of
So let's go
negativity.
positive. What's been the best moment of your life so far?
The best what?
Best moment of your life so
I
far.
got sealed to your mother in the temple.
Love that.
Okay, Daddy. Now this next one I'm going to read you, and you can decide if you want to talk about it privately or publicly. I said, "What do you love most about?" and named each of your children.
You know, I just love you all and everything about you. I mean, I'm serious. I'm not trying to evade the question. I just don't have a situation where I love one child more than another because of something or whatever. I
Is that what
just,
she's asking?
I just love you all.
Did you ask her what you love about them?
Yeah. What
What's
do you
your
love
favorite thing
most
about
about
each of your
them?
kids?
No, which one you love
On
the most?
each individual
Because
child.
we already
Yeah.
know that answer.
What do you love most
Siobhan
about
already
each
answered
kid?
that one by herself.
Yeah, I was
he
saying
said,
like
he said everything.
some. Yeah. So,
Daddy?
yeah, that was the question. Is what do you love most about Sandy? But Dad's saying it's umbrella.
It's umbrella.
Like, he loves us all.
Right.
And there's no specific
Well, and that's
reason why.
something that I think, Dad, that's something that he has to think about. And
And
On
don't
a
want
private
to.
level.
And don't want to.
I don't blame him.
I don't want to think about stuff like that.
I mean, Dad,
I love you all.
obviously, I am the one you love the most.
She loves how
Obviously.
be dirt poor and still look this
Think
good.
about
See, obviously, Jeremiah.
You know, what did you say?
He said, "It's me. You can't be." What did you say, Jeremiah? Repeat it.
Said he loves how I can be this dirt poor and still look
And
this
still
good.
look good.
Dirt poor. That reminds me of you. We were walking down the street one day, or going over the. I can't remember where we were, but we were walking, and you said, "Dad," and I said, "Yeah." He says, "I've been thinking about this a lot, and if you didn't have all of us kids, you could have the best car and nice house. And he really did. And I said, yeah, but then I wouldn't be rich. You know?
I actually remember that.
It's true.
Another one with you.
That's what I've always respected about you, though. You know what I mean?
Another one with you.
Especially now that I'm a father, and like I see what, and there was so many of us, and he was
I'll give
making,
them all back for that.
I'm
car.
like, how did you do this? For 30 grand? I remember you used to make 30 grand a year, and I'm like, how did you guys do
That was
this?
a lot more money right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But I
true.
remember another one about you. We were all out playing, baseball or kickball or something, and you said, "How come you never did this one out with me?" And I said, "Because you were never around."
I don't remember that though. What were we doing?
I don't remember. We were all out doing a family something.
It's true that circling back, I've called mom several times because I have 4 children and mom had 7, and I was like, I'm gonna lose it. I'm
I
gonna
have
lose it.
one.
I don't know how you did
And
it.
there was times and I only have one. And
Top
I'm
shirt
like,
was
Mom,
nice and cozy.
how? What?
She has to break the word of wisdom to deal with her kids.
Yeah.
That one right there.
Yes,
you-
Daddy.
I remember one day I called my mother just to apologize for I hurt her.
Ask mom how many times I've called her and been like, Mom, I'm
so
sorry.
sorry.
I'm just so sorry. And the first time I did it, she was like, well, what's going on? What's wrong? But after that, she just starts chuckling. And I remember I broke her heart one time because, you know, I was being my typical asshole self, excuse my language, you know. And my mom, she was so frustrated. It didn't matter if you beat me or grounded me or whatever. It's just like, I don't care. I'm not,
Unless
you
I
know.
put you in a position.
It did
Yeah.
not.
You guys used
It
to
did
hate
not
it.
faze him.
I know,
one way
I
or the
remember.
other. He just did not care.
It wasn't phased.
And I told her what I was like, I could see that I hurt her in her eyes because she was like, she got so fed up and she was like, one day, you're going to regret all of this. And I'm like,
I know. Did you put a
some-
spell on
yeah, I'm
me?
like, what are you going to have somebody beat me up or something? And the look on her face was just like,
That's not a bad idea.
I can't believe you would think of that. You know, like, you think I'm going to have somebody beat you up? And now I call her like, Mom, I'm so sorry. And she's like, what happened? I'm like, I was such a little asshole. I'm so sorry. What's going on? Well, my middle one.
That's all he has to say. That's all he has to
I
say.
always knew it was going to be Anya that was going to give him
Oh,
a
yeah.
Dude, it's so funny. when
She's
she
so
gets
much
those
like me,
expressions on her
and that's,
face, and I'm
you
like,
know,
you're
so we just,
you are your
Yeah.
father's daughter.
that's the only one of my kids I've ever put hands on.
That's me with Aspen. Aspen's got it the worst from us. We don't lay hands on each other like a lot. Neil has never hit the kids because the way he was raised, he will never hit the kids. I am the disciplinary, but Aspen, that girl is the one who got it the worst because that child, she makes me go from 0 to 60, and I'd call mom crying, and mom would laugh. She'd just go,
Yep,
she's
I know that
just
laugh.
like you. I'm like,
Remember the time you did that to me?
Yep. Like this. What
Y'all are
is-
Zach.
I beat my kids every day because
Yeah.
I know they did something
Yeah.
that day.
I tell that to mom now. I tell that to mom now. She'll be around the girls and like I'll say something to the kids, you know, like with a little force or something. She'll wait for them to leave the room and she'll be like, "Now, DJ, you can't be, you know, like that with them." And I'm like,
Who's that?
"Who are you?"
She's grandma.
Where was this when I
She's
was
the
there?
one that's trying to get into heaven now, right?
Are we being too loud?
These are not the people that I was
Right.
raised
Like,
with.
like, where did
They're old people trying to get into heaven.